We'd like to welcome Ray Van to the show. He is one of the newest officers, or chaplains rather, inducted into the Lufkin Police Department in a volunteer role that is going to serve the city in a very unique way. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so your journey began with the city when you decided to be a part of the first CAPA program, which
Correct.
is taking officers from the community, chaplains, excuse me, from the community and going through that course with the officers so you can kind of see what they deal with on a daily basis.
Correct.
And from there, what happened?
Well, basically, I fell in love with our department here. I mean, they are just full of heart and love, and they love Lufkin, they love our community, and I felt a calling to serve in a stronger way. I'm a ordained permanent deacon in the Catholic Church, and we are called to be out into the community in some ministerial role, not just as preachers, not just as presiding over funerals or baptisms, but to be out in the community serving. And in all honesty, for the last 7 years since I was ordained, I've been searching for the right ministry. And, you know, we get out, we serve how we're called to be served, but every now and then you land on something that you have a passion for. And I feel a true passion to serve these officers. They're out there serving us every day. They're putting their lives on the line. They have all kinds of stress. So anything I can do for them, and usually it's not much but lending an ear. It's a ministry of presence. I greet them with no agenda. I'm not there to convert anybody to Christianity or Catholicism or anything like that. I'm simply there to be a presence, to assist in any way that I can, whether it's listening to something that they want to talk about. They love to talk about their children, their families. They love their family, their job, or to be there to assist them in dealing with the community however I can. So it's a true passion for me. I love it, and that's why I'm here.
And you actually started how long ago?
Well, I started in the CAPA program. Now, the actual official chaplaincy was only a month ago we were installed.
What have you done so far? I mean, do you go out on calls with the officers, or do you have an office here? How does it work?
Well, actually, we do not have an office here, but I'm very blessed that my office that pays my bills for my family is right across the street from the police department, so I'm able to come and go at will. But yes, we get called out when needed. Had a call a couple of weeks ago where it was just a bad situation, and they needed some chaplain help for the family that they were dealing with, and we received a phone call, or I received a phone call, and we went out on site and were able to assist that way. But
so the volunteer chaplain program really works hand in hand with the CAPA program. I know we were talking earlier, and you mentioned that your primary role is with the officer. Where you will assist the family, but that's when you actually bring in those CAPA volunteers.
Well, that's true. That's true. The CAPA, as I was saying, is, and this is how I personally see it, is pretty much a bridge between the department and the community. They're out there letting the community understand what the officers are going through, and the officers understand more about what the community that they are in goes through. Whereas the chaplaincy is more focused on being there for the officers. I like to tell the officers, and this kind of sounds cold in a way, but I'd like to tell them that I'm there for them, not the community. Now, I'm there to help the community, but only if it's going to help them. They are my primary responsibility, especially when I'm on a ride-along. I would never, if an officer is dealing with a situation, insert myself into it without understanding that he is wanting me to do so. In fact, when I'm out riding with the officers, you know, I'll have a badge displayed, and I'll have a ballistic vest, but I'll also have my Roman clergy collar on. And what I typically do is step back, be kind of behind the officer, almost like a shadow, so that the officer knows that I'm there, but also the person that they're dealing with. Eventually they'll look up and they'll notice the collar, and they'll say, oh, there's something different about him, and they realize, and then they take the time to read the police chaplain patch that I have on. And then if they feel like they need my help for something or want me to pray for them or anything like that, they may ask to do so. But I never insert myself into it because I'm there for the officer. And the officer may sometimes turn to me and say, you know, would you like to talk to them? But again, I'm very careful to make sure I understand my role. I'm not a law enforcement officer. I'm not trained for that. So I stay back and assist those officers.
Yeah, but it sounds like you play a valuable role. So what do you think has changed over the last 10 years in law enforcement that now we have chaplains actually on the force?
Well, there have been chaplains. The history of chaplaincy goes back over 100 years in the United States. But recently there's been a definite growth in not only chaplaincy, but also organizations like the Clergy and Police Alliance that we have here in Lufkin. But just read the headlines. Today, on one of the online news sources that I go to, the top headline says, "Baltimore braces for the cop verdict." Okay, well, and everybody knows what's happened in Baltimore and in Ferguson and all of these different places. Officers are human beings. They're going to make mistakes. But the vast majority of the flare-ups that we see are not necessarily mistakes. It's them doing their job with it and the public perceiving it as out to get them or what have you. So there's never been that I know of a more important time in our country for these officers to know that people love them and care about them, and that we're not all out there with signs saying, you know, the police are evil or out to get us, or the police are the enemy, as you see sometimes. We had during National Police Week last week, we started it with a prayer vigil where for 12 hours straight, somebody from different church communities would come and sit right across from where the parking lot is, where the officers are coming and going, and just pray for them as they were coming and going in 1 hour shifts. And we continued that for 12 hours at the beginning of Police Week and at the end of Police Week. And so it's little things like that.
That means a lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it definitely does mean a lot. And you know, the police business has always been obviously a risky role, a risky job, a risky career. But it seems like more so now in this day and time.
For sure.
There are so many elements that are playing into that, and you know, it's true what they say. You've always heard, you know, when they leave their home in the morning, you know, they don't know if they're going to come back. I mean, the family's waiting, and there's just so many risks associated with it, and now more than ever. And so it's good to have, you know, the chaplains right across the street.
That's right.
So that's very convenient. But at the same time, we know it's a risk for you guys as well, riding with the officers. But it's nice to have that companionship and someone there to pray with them, and that means, I'm sure that means a whole lot to them.
I hope so.
Right. Thank you for joining us, and thank
me.
you for volunteering yourself to our community in such a fantastic way.
It's absolutely my honor.